Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to give you the top 3 best blending mode for coloring for Digital Painter, and I'm going to explain you why I love them so much. In Photoshop or any other software that you've been using for digital painting, you're always going to have some blending modes that you can put on the layers. And those blending modes can do a lot of different things. They can help you coloring, they can help you change the color, they can help you add some light and some shadows. And there's 3 that I keep on using, and I thought I would make just a small video to tell you which one I'm using and why and what do I like about them. Those blending modes can be absolutely found on other software. They might have the same name, they might not, but I'm pretty sure you're going to find the equivalent no matter what. So the first one that I want to show you is the overlay. Now, the overlay, I really like this one for many reasons. The first one is if you paint with white and black on top of a layer that has overlay color mode on it, you'll be able to change the light drastically. I did a video recently about the dodge and burn. Well, the overlay does it by itself, basically. If I paint just here with white, you can see that it's going to add a lot of light. And if I paint with black, let's say in the shadow part, it's going to do the opposite, helping me really fast. As you can see, I just made like two strokes here. I'm just going to delete here a little bit, but just with 2 strokes, I've been able to just change the direction of the light drastically. So when you're missing some light in some corners, or you want to just brighten up your image, overlay is amazing for that. The other thing that I really like about overlay is to be able to actually do the same thing, add some light, but add some colored light. So I'm going to just go back on my layer here, and what I'm going to do, instead of painting with white, I'm going to select a color, and then you can just have some fun and see what works. If you add some red or if you add some green, it's going to have different colors, obviously. And then you can just change the spotlight, basically. If I were to decide that on this image, which is basically orange, red, I could have a greenish bluish color to just have basically a complementary color as a spotlight. I could just do it by just painting on it and just adding some light like this. I really like this one for that. So you're able to just change the colors real quick, but especially just to add some light to my illustration. This is very powerful. The next one that I wanted to show you guys is the color dodge. Now, the color dodge is amazing, and it does a little bit like the overlay. It adds some light, but it won't add some shadow. It will always add some light, and it's going to add some very harsh light, or it's going to add some very small light. I'm going to give you an example here, and this one works really well for coloring. It will create some colors that you can't really have if you were just to paint them. Some burns effect, for example. So I'm going to just give you an example here. I'm going to use a purple for starter, and I'm going to use a purple that's really light, and you're going to see it's going to burn a lot, giving me also that blue, that purple. It's going to basically change the color a lot. If I were to do the same color but darker, what it's going to do is it's just going to add it's just going to add some small light, basically. So darker you go and less light it's going to add. So you have the control over that. But if I were to just do some special effects, let's say on the eyes of this character here, I could just boost it a lot and just go over the iris and just paint like this. I'm going to go even more, I think, pale. And you're going to see it's going to kind of burn the whole thing. Maybe I'm going to take another color. Basically, you can just try a few things, but it's just going to add a lot of light. It's a great color mode when it comes to jewelry. So you see here she has a ring, and if I wanted to just add some light to it and just make it shine, I could totally do it with it. So I could go maybe a little bit darker and just go over the ring, and just like that, make it shine a little bit more. So that's another one that I really like to use a lot when it comes to just have some effects of lights all over my illustrations. The third one that I wanted to show you is the color mode. The color mode basically won't have as much effect on the light. Actually, usually the value stays approximately the same, but it's going to change the colors. And what I like about this is to have the control to be able to change the color drastically. if I have a layer of color and I were to change just let's say the hair to blue, I could literally just paint all over my hair like this, and it's just going to change the color, trying to keep the same value. If you have a color though like a blue that is a little bit more saturated, a little bit more dark, it's going to have a little bit more of an effect on it, but usually the values will stay almost the same. And what I could do now is just delete everything that it's on her face, obviously, to just keep the hair. And another trick that I can give you right now that works really well with that is if you double click on the layer, it's going to open the layer panel, and that's in Photoshop. And if you go just right here on the layer, I'll be able to just take out a little bit of the effect. And if you want to separate those arrows, you simply have to hold Alt. By holding Alt and just clicking on the arrow, it's going to separate them, and you'll have the control to give a smoother transition. And this way it's just going to add the highlights like this. And I really like to do this with the layer mode. So when I want to change a color basically and keep a little bit of the color at the back of it, then I have the power to do it. So the color blending mode is really useful when you want to change the color. Basically, the two other ones are really great when it comes to add some light to illustrations. And that's it for this video, guys. I hope you liked it. Let me know in the description of this video if you want me to give you more example about the color dodge or about the overlay or about the color or all three. Basically, if you want to know more about it and see more example, let me know in the comment below this video, and I'll try to make more video about it. In the meantime, if you don't want to miss any video, click on the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. As usual, have a good day and happy painting.